Man list, flan list, clan list, LAN list. Anyone remember DreamHack? Is that still a thing? Do people still like go out to LANs and stuff? Anyway, here's a bit of a ban list here from Master Duel. This is the World Championship ban list, which is bizarre because you would think that it would be a little bit more crazier than that. Nothing particularly special going to Unlimited, I believe. Colossus going from 1 to 3 is essentially irrelevant, unless you want to play Thunder Dragon, which, I mean, we could do some Thunder gaming, but it's not open until the 6 days from now, as of recording. So yeah, Water Enchantress going from 2 to 3 is nice. We've seen in the TCG that this engine has never been touched, never been hit, actually. But in OCG, I think this thing like released at like 2 and 1 or something, and very slowly but surely it's coming off the list because it essentially doesn't do anything. I still honestly like this engine, and I feel like it's as powerful as most engines should be. We saw historically that Water Enchantress was used as like a nice little synchro package that you could play like combo piles with. And it also had this massive drawback of not requiring a normal summon. You compare like Enchantress engine and how much people used to complain about it. Oh wow, you just have like an Omni Negate set up before your normal summon. That is so broken. Crazy, right? Remember how much we used to complain about this? And where are we at just now? Fiendsmith. Unbelievable. Just the difference in power level. It's like the same number of cards, almost. In fact, less. And I think it's even less garnets. You could argue, like, Lurry is a garnet, but even then, it's, like, still technically full combo. Yeah, just actually unbelievable, the difference in power level in such a short space of time. 2 years between 22 and 24, and we've went from the Enchantress engine to the Fiendsmith engine. I feel like Enchantress engine is like the absolute peak where it should be. You can still do a lot of cool, like, neat things with it, but it still comes with a heavy drawback. I can't think of what the drawback is for Fiendsmith. What actually is the drawback? They didn't make one. Ironically, you know, even something like life point cost wasn't even a thing. Look at Lacrima. Lacrima was like a burn effect for some reason. In fact, it didn't even have a cost. It reverse costed, if that's a word. Oh, that's what we're going to call chain burn from now on. We're going to call it reverse cost. Anyway, so the point I'm making here is like, man, the power spike of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the what's it called? The direction that the game has gone in is absolutely crazy, because crazy powerful engines like this usually have sacrifices and opportunity costs associated with them. They either have like heavy life point costs, restrictions on them, like, you know, Enchantress being not letting you normal summon that turn. You compare that to Fiendsmith, and it's like, what's the cost? You guys are giving me like extra deck space as an example. Depending on the deck, that's just not an issue. And we've seen, like, finally people actually using their side decks for side decking recently, which is really cool. But I wouldn't really even call, like, an extra deck space as a cost really associated with it. Like, unless it requires, like, straight up, like, 10 cards or something. I think, like, limiting the extra deck space is probably a positive thing with these kind of engines and stuff. I generally don't like, and I've usually been a fan of the extra deck being larger, but this is a whole different subject. But TLDR, my argument is that, like, I feel like having to decide on which cards you play results in a lot of variance because, oh, I can't bring in this card versus that matchup. I guess I just got unlucky and I got paired versus the graveyard deck more than I did against the combo deck or the stun deck, etc., etc., etc. So, anyway, that's like besides the point. That's a whole other different ass topic. But basically, to take away, just as a random side tangent, Fiendsmith is ridiculous and insane, and it's crazy to see the jump that we've gone from in just 2 years from the Enchantress engine to the Fiendsmith engine. That is crazy. Fart. So we're changing farts. That's good. We have 3 copies of this, and I think 3 copies of Snatch Steal, 3 copies of Mind Control, and do we also have 3 copies of Brian Control too? The errata version. This is really fun. Now we can play Stealing only, but like with cards. Rather than like the series, which you're probably wondering, Farfa, where's Stealing Only the series? Don't worry, it's not over. I just haven't had time to record an episode, which I will definitely do at some point. I just haven't had a chance to really sit down on stream and do it. Whew, it's a lot of cards. I mean, admittedly, like, it's a lot. I just don't know what you can really do with it. That's the problem, right? Like, against Snake Eye Fire King, what can you do? Like, steal Amblo Whale? make it into a Zelantis or something. I don't know. Like, ultimately, there isn't too much you can do with this stuff. Whenever Tenpai comes to Masudo, which is unconfirmed and not known, and Konami has not given us any official stipulations or anything like that for when that is happening. No one knows when that is, but whenever it does happen, I'm sure maybe they'll find a way to enjoy this. This was a weird change. Why did this happen? Now, admittedly, you know, blind flipping an EEV in a best-of-1 Masudo duel is probably irrelevant. And even at an absolute stretch, if Labyrinth does want to play Eradicator Epidemic Virus, you're probably just playing one because you can search it off of the Labyrinth. Search it off of Lovely. I don't see what you're... I don't... Admittedly, there's no reason to play this at more than one copy. The only good thing about this being at more than one copy is, I guess, if you want to side deck more of it, it's really strong. Because now you can play it in Labyrinth going first if you are playing in Challenger Cups and stuff like that. Yeah, you can access it with Trap Trick now, I suppose, if you want to play 2 copies. Kaiba won't shut the fuck up in the Twitch chat talking about how it's a layer buff. Yeah, okay, cool. The tier 84 deck can now use multiple copies of Eradicator. That's cool. But ultimately, I don't think there's a real... chat, the LCS command is wrong, by the way. Anyway. So yeah, Eradicator Epidemic Virus going from 1 to 3 is mostly irrelevant, but it's a strange decision to make in a best-of-1 game. It really is. Dragons are back, baby! 2 to 3 is nice. I mean, listen, a little bit of consistency here and there is always appreciated. I don't think anyone is upset about that. And we love dragons. Dragons are fun. Dragons are cool. I'm probably going to do a grind into... I think I'll try and hit Master 1 with Dragon. This season. I'm really excited to play some Dargans again. And it could be really fun to play Dragons with Enchantress. Because Rose Dragon also came back to 3. So, you know, you have some cool things you can do with that now. Semi-limited. This is like such a strange hit here. They've like essentially done nothing to Fire King. What is potentially the top deck of the of Masudo alongside Yubel. Maybe Yubel's a little bit better than it, but 2 copies of Kirin, I don't know. Occasionally you can dodge the more things more often when it's at 3. Now it's like slightly less. I think 1 would have been a relevant thing here because I think limiting Kirin to 1 actually does like, you know, cut off like some niche combos in situations, which is good, but ultimately I think people are really sick and tired of Snake Eye, and honestly, I'd rather they just leave all the Fire King cards at 3 because pure Fire King is legitimately kind of a fun, interesting, and cool deck. I think mostly people are just kind of sick and tired of Snake Eye at this point, which is crazy to think just how neutered the Snake Eye engine is in Masudo, and we aren't even close to getting Azamina. Fiendsmith is way over the horizon and stuff like that. No leaks, no leaks, no leaks, no leaks. Illegal, illegal, illegal. But yeah, it's weird. Semi-limiting Kirin is fine. Well, yeah, no, it's not. It's not. I would like to see the Fire King card stick around and Snake Eye get the hits, but obviously that doesn't make any sense for all of these silly arbitrary reasons that are involved with ban lists. Silly arbitrary reasons being like, well, we need to make the other deck be good in the future that sells packs, etc., etc. Don't you just love when the ban list doesn't actually take into consideration game balance? It's wild. Gold Sarcophagus went from 1 copy to 2 copies. Don't really know who this helps. Thunder Dragon, Pure Thunder, could be an interesting deck. Unironically, multiple copies of Gold Sark. You have multiple Colossus, could actually be cool. A lot of you saying branded, I suppose, is mostly the main thing. Now I guess you get an extra copy of Reinforcement of the Army. That's kind of neat, I suppose. Ritual Beast doesn't play Gold Sark. Phantom of Yubel from 3 to 2 is kind of interesting. That's like a good hit. 3 is relevant. There is a lot of combos that require 3. It's sort of important. They didn't touch anything else though. Like nothing else. Like not even like actually, what is like the Beckoning Beast? This one got hit to 2. This to 2. Slight consistency hits, plus like the combos got a little bit weaker depending on your hand. Sometimes you do actually go through 3 entire Phantoms in one turn, and it hurts the grind game a lot. So there's like a decent amount here for Yubel that I think brings it in line slightly more with the meta game. So I'm not too upset about that. I guess It's just awkward because for years and years, there was a point where the Worlds deck would essentially just be slaughtered. Like, taken out to the back, sent to a Siberian coal mine, work in the camps for 30 years, never to be seen again. Like, that was the tradition of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Worlds decks would just be murdered. And they just don't do that anymore, I guess. I don't know what the decision was made at some point, but they basically just stopped doing that. So I don't know. I think a lot of people probably would have loved to have seen Snake Eye essentially kick the bucket. But I guess if you kill Snake Eye, then Yubel becomes tier 0, which is, I mean, who wants to see that? Speaking of Snake Eye, of course, yeah. Lots of hits to Snake Eye. Just an inconsistent piece of rubbish now. But you're not going to stop seeing Snake Eye, admittedly. You're just going to be seeing it with other engines and heavier versions of Fire King, completely relying as the best version of Snake Eye. It always has been, I think, for a while now. But a lot of people did actually qualify in the DC Cup through the regional qualifier using pure Snake Eye, which is crazy to think that that was a thing with the consistency hits and all that kind of stuff. But now you also have Poplar to 1, so yep, you're basically always going to be playing Fire King as your variant here. Yo! I am so sad about this! Oh, my boy! I don't get why you even bother hitting Fossil Dino. Say what you want about... Thank you so much, Hamwood. Appreciate that. I'm going to thank all the subs in a moment. Say what you want about stun, but, like, this functionally doesn't do anything. Like, you just... Okay, I will replace my 2 Fossil Dinos with 2 barrier statues. Like, do you know what I mean? It functionally doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe the 200 attack difference will come in once in a while, but yeah, it's really bizarre. Unless you were doing some crazy combo that searches Fossil Dino, which, by the way, still works because it goes to 1 and it isn't banned. But yeah, I'm not sure if that really warrants a hit. Apparently, Stun has been doing well. I've watched people play Stun during the DC Cup, and it was miserable. So I'm not sure what this is for. Valance can search it. So Valance can search Fossil Dino. So then, pray tell, why are we limiting it? If you're going to use Valance searches this as an argument, then what is the benefit here? Why even make this hit? You can search it with 7th Tachyon. What are these words? Okay, guys, everything you're suggesting right now is not relevant. Nothing you've said is relevant. But yeah. Functionally, no difference between Pack Cephalos. The attack points are, I'm going to probably go out on a limb and say, is also irrelevant. The difference between a barrier statue and a Fossil Dino is negligible. Yeah, there's I can't think of any meta-relevant thresholds that involve punching over a Fossil Dino that a barrier statue cannot also be punched over. Like, maybe if you have specifically Snake Eye Temple, and you have... like, is it Oak or Ash, I think, can beat over a Fossil Dino? Can't beat over Fossil Dino, but it can beat over a barrier statue? Something like that? There are very few niche situations where it's actually relevant. Birch! Wow, that card has been 99% play rate in the meta, hasn't it? Anyway. So... yeah, Fossil Dino, I mean, listen, people want Stun to die. I think Stun dying is bad for the game because I'm a YouTuber who likes making funny videos, and occasionally when rent is due, I need to make a Stun video, and so break in case of emergency, I have to whip out the old very bad week. And, you know... when that happens, Fossil Dino is gonna make a little bit of a comeback, you know what I'm saying? So that's my biased take for this. I love Fossil Dino. Fossil has a flip effect. Oh, come on, shut up. That's not relevant. Oh, shut up. Finally, someone actually gave a good argument, by the way. Y'all were saying that, like, the attack points matter. Like, no, it doesn't. But finally, you know what? Setting Fossil Dino going second might actually be relevant. When are we getting this into a video? Oh, that thing absolutely needs to be a video. I'm going to ask Lampy if I can upload it or something. And finally, some of the bans here. Primeval Planet Pear Rhino has been banned. Why did they ban Pear Rhino? Because out of Yubel and Snake Eye being the best dominant decks for the DC Cup, we need to address tier limit. Admittedly, tier limit is an interesting way to hit this, and it's probably the best way that they could ban this without outright killing the deck. So, let me cook. First of all, tier limit is fun and good for the game, and I love it and I enjoy it, and tier limit is the best, and it's great. But if we ignore that, it's actually a really good hit. It specifically hits the super insane, crazy, like, sacky 60-card versions of the deck, because a lot of them are relying on discard engines. Like Himseti, like the King Sark, like Super Polymerization, Droplet, a bunch of cards that just get things into the graveyard, for example. And they were taking advantage of the trap card, Trivikarma, and Rainbow Bridge. And those were really powerful cards in tier limit. So by getting rid of the field spell, you've essentially kind of most likely dropped tier limit back down to like a 45-card deck instead of like the high roll, crazy, insane 60-card build. I mean, admittedly, you still can play that if you really want. There's absolutely no reason you can. It's just like, you know, Pear Rhino was a great starter card. You could use it as an extend as well to get Shired instead if you already had a normal summon. And of course, it offered so much versatility in its applications because of the pop effect. You're protecting your Kick Coloss from Imperm, obviously hitting your opponent's cards. So Pear Rhino was definitely a great card to ban without killing tier limit. Because ultimately, so long as Kid Coloss survives, there's basically no reason why tier limit cannot be at least functional and playable. You keep Kid Coloss in the game, the deck is still a nice, fun, mid-rangey control deck. Which is weird to say, but I promise you guys, tier limit is a mid-range control deck. Kind of, sort of, in the way it plays. I don't know, it's hard to say. You can build it different ways. But anyway, so for tier enjoyers, let's just say that you got off lightly. You got off very lightly. It could have been so much worse. Corruptor Ibly has been banned, which is so good, honestly. I don't think anyone is upset about this. So this is an absolute disgusting combo that Task managed to climb all the way up to rank 1 in the DC Cup. Weird, he's going to the World Championship again for 3 years in a row. Well done, Task. Very cool. So what you would do essentially is you would do your full Yubel combo, and then you would overlay like a Dark Beckoning Beast and one of your Link 2 monsters, and you would detach from Gigantic, and Gigantic would summon Ibly, Link into Elf, and then you would give your opponent Nightmare Corruptor Ibly. You cannot special monsters except Link monsters. So against Yubel, you're locked out of special summoning except for Link monsters. So in Snake Eye, for example, that kind of essentially completely kills your turn, except you want to like normal summon Ash, get Poplar, no effect, then make a Link monster, etc. Right? It was kind of disgusting. But the most ridiculous thing as well is that it goes back to your field again, because they can bring it back with what's it called? With the Sprite Elf, and then link it with their Masquerena, and then give you the Ibly back again. Like, the way to out this stupid, dumb combo is to make Linger Evil twice, which I think is what Jesse actually played in his extra deck in tier limit at the World Championship. Or Droplet, as an example, but yeah. Really disgusting card. Really broken. Really absurd. There's one thing in this game that I will complain about more than Maxi, and it's Floodgates. Cannot stand Floodgates. Cannot stand in-engine Floodgates. Stun, I can respect. I can get behind someone activating a Necro Valley, summoning a ugly-ass fucking baby dinosaur, and equipping it with a shield, you know? Like, come at me, bro. I can respect that. This bullshit, I can't. In-engine, in-deck, Floodgates that are accessible through your basic combo every game are some of the worst games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And formats you'll ever see in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Link, when it had access to Union Carrier and the Buster Dragon in 2021, that was a complete cancer. Adamant Spit of the year before, Locking Out of Yorkshire. Horrible, horrible formats. Mostly because of Floodgate interactions. So those things I absolutely detest, and those need to be eradicated. Jaugen! Why are they banning Jaugen? It's amazing the loops and the mental gymnastics involved with not getting rid of Sanctifier Dragon, you know? It really is just unbelievable the lengths that we will go to not just deal with Sanctifier Dragon. It's unbelievable. Sanctifier Dragon, I don't think has ever been summoned for anything that isn't a stupid combo. Like, we are slowly doing the Halka Fibrak strategy, where we ban all of the tuner monsters, and we don't deal with Halka Fibraks. We already have proven and tested historical examples of why that's a bad idea. Case in point, Halka Fibraks! Verte! Just hit the problem cards. Jaugen is not the problem card in that thing. Jaugen was a problem in 2013 because of Spellbook summoning it for free. Lo and behold, he's back again, doing some bullshit once more because making it searchable is not cool. So yeah. Tuners did nothing wrong. Tuners did nothing wrong. Floodgates have. Gofu wants to know your location right now. So anyway, this is your clam list, dam list, van list. Overall, there's some good stuff here. I like the Yubel stuff. I personally would have preferred to see the Beckoning Beast and the Gates go to 1. The Yubel to 2 I think is fine. Tearlament genuinely just dodged a bullet, man. I can't believe Tearlament got away with murder. It's actually insane what happened there. And of course they banned Ibli, which is good. Jaugen ban is fine. I mean, it wasn't the problem, but listen. It's not like anyone is going to complain about Jaugen getting banned. Like, listen, if you had to pick between, you know, me and the guy she told you not to worry about, I'm Jaugen, and the guy I shouldn't be worrying about is Fossildyne. I mean, look at the absolute freaking deadlifting thighs on this boy. But yeah, overall, fine ban list in terms of Master Duel, which is sad to say because we don't have a very high bar for good ban lists in Master Duel. I know, very sad. But yeah, it's overall, like, I would say like a 7 out of 10. And that's probably the biggest cop-out view that you could provide here, because I understand most of you probably just want blood and death and destruction. And for me to absolutely dumpster and shit all over this, yeah, it would be nice if Master Duel ban lists were bigger and better and crazier. But ultimately, I think they don't want to fuck with people's ultra rare gachas, which comparatively to the TCG, single prices don't exist. In fact, there are no, if you want to build a deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, you have to buy the booster boxes. Because that's how you build a real deck. So yeah, it is what it is. Comments! Get fucked, stun. It's Pear Rhino over. No, it's not. As long as tier has kit, it will continue to be good. Right after I crafted tier. Bro crafted tier 16 months after it was released. That's crazy. Don't worry too much, the deck is playable. Yeah, it lost 1 card, started out of like 10, and most people don't even play all of them. They'll get Fiendsmith as an auto starter too. Fiendsmith as a starter in Tearlament? Yeah, technically, I guess. Whenever that happens. No one knows, of course, but we're just speculating, because that's what... No one would be able to have that kind of information, obviously. Slightly less consistent, only Trivia Karma... Okay, blah, blah, blah. Tier Theory. Really wished for Phantom of Yubel to 1. I think, honestly, do people want Phantom of Yubel to 1? Because Phantom of Yubel to 1 will just outright kill the deck. Right? Unless I'm missing some combo lines, and I don't know how to play the deck, but you will just kill the deck if Yubel goes to 1. Fuck that deck. Man, you guys are haters. If you don't like Yubel, you hate the very essence of Yu-Gi-Oh! You hate the very lifeblood of this game. Do you understand? You better, if you don't love Yubel, you just don't love Yu-Gi-Oh! Stun will replace Dyna with the statues. Dyna still searchable or played as a one-of in decks like Flu and Valence. The bigger hit is Jaugen. Flu can search Fossil Dyna via Small World if you know the bridge. Is he's trying to say this in like a really weird, like, secretive manner. Like, for those who know, you know. Like, okay, bro. Your deck has consistency problems as it is. You're not playing Small World and Flu Wonder. Sanctifier is a problem, Konami. No. No, 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 no. I just gotta get the reference up so people understand.
Alright, I figured out how to fix the game. First, we ban all the tuna monsters. Then...
That's what Konami wants to do with Sanctifier Dragon. Ban all the targets. Halka Firebrax, ban all the tuner monsters. Why my tier? Thanks, Jesse Cotton. Deserved. Nah, fuck off. Only stun cards were deserved. Activate Pearl Rhino, add Rhino Heart is so telegraphed, it's insane. People fuck... people, what is it? People... What is this word here? People something about it. It's 5 letters. Come is 3 letters, guys. Bitch. Okay, sure. PPP isn't... That's a crazy abbreviation. In my 2 years of playing a lot of tier, I've never heard anyone call it PPP. Brother, just say Pearl Rhino. Holy crap. Man, you can... 30-year-old man with a child, by the way. I'm sitting here gassing myself at 3 letters in a row. Anyway, they updated the announcement. Gold Sark is going to 2 instead of 3. Wait, was there like an initial incorrect ban list drop? Was it 3 initially, and then they rescinded for 2? Wait, they accidentally put it to 3? Brother, no one is gonna care if it goes to 3. Like, they actually just had like an emergency meeting to bring it to 2 as if that was gonna matter. Like, that was like, as if it was gonna mean anything. Like, oh yeah, branded players got 1 extra rota. Oh no. Free 90 CP. Yay. Jesus Christ, these people are being weird. Stun is dying finally, although Dyna should have just been banned. Do people really not know what a barrier statue is? Even though I hate to see Poplar get hit, the little war criminal had it coming. Little war criminal. However, who the fuck had the idea to unlimit EEV? Yeah, I just don't think there's anything good that can come out of EEV to 3. Right? Like, when you think of like a fun, interesting game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, they usually don't involve Eradicator. Okay, now, if you're watching YCS Meme Review Recap on YouTube, EEV is a great card. If you're sitting down for a tournament and you want to play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you don't usually think of EEV as a good card. So it really just depends on which side of the perception of reality you're looking at, you know? Everyone's point of view is justified to some extent. I wish they put Phantom to 1 and tier hit seem a bit weird. Other than that, it's a nice list. Stun is slowly dying. The tier hit is big, but at least doesn't make it unplayable, so be happy, tier players. Hit to stun are always a W. I'm so happy for Ibli. You cannot dodge evenly anymore, you bell. Haha. No more 1 bad day. It's over. Yet, well, technically it is 1 bad day. Falsodyna's literally having 1 bad day. Get it? I made Dragon Link last week in Chaos Space to 3. The gods are with me, Lamau. I really want some dragon support, man. When's the next, like, good dragon deck? I feel like dragons are as staple to Yu-Gi-Oh! As, they are in, like, just fantasy, what's the word? Fantasy, blah, 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 mythology and stuff like that. Like, Dragon not being a good deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just crazy. Tenpai? Tenpai's not a dragon deck. It's a worm deck. Hello? This is fine. Thunder Dragon stalks through the... I'd like to try some Thunder Dragon. Seems funny. Konami edited the ban list announcement, put Gold Sark to 2 instead of 3. They really want you to play Thunder. Konami really want to sell Ritual Beast pack. There is nothing Ritual Beast related here. Literally not one card is Ritual Beast related. And before anyone says Gold Sark, you are wrong. Pearl Rhino. Pearl Rhino. Ooh. Please just give Thunder Dragon new cards, Konami. I know it was aimed at you, Bill, but I'm sad at that sprite cost a stray bullet with the Dark Beckoning Beast. Aside from that and Pearl Rhino, this is a great list. Anyway, yep, that's the comment section. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. That's been my thoughts on the flan list. Tune in next week where we'll be looking at a man list.